Co-main event, a light heavyweight bout. Ryan Spann coming in at minus 130. Anthony Smith coming in at minus 100. Even money. This is a rematch. And if you remember correctly, Anthony Smith got the win. It wasn't too long ago. The over-under for this one, 1.5 rounds, plus 145 for the over, minus 175 for the under. You see the wealth of experience for Anthony Smith. 3-2 in his last 5. He was on the win streak, but he's lost his last 2 in a row. His last win was against Ryan Spann. That was in 2021, September 18th, 2021, when he got the rear naked choke in the first round. Against Anthony Smith, hasn't won, or against Ryan Spann, hasn't won a fight since then. And for Ryan Spann, a little bit younger. Both guys super big for the weight class, and coming in here 3-2 in his last 5 as well. His last time out, he's a potent finisher. You see the explosiveness with the hands, and the submissions he's able to pull anything out whenever it is available to him. Since the Anthony Smith fight, he beat Iwan Kudalaba first round guillotine, beat Dominic Reyes first round knockout, and then his last time out, he lost via triangle choke to Nikita Krylov. This is like it's a weird rematch because like one guy won pretty like decisively. I mean, he finished him in the first round. But I think where these guys are at in their careers and where the rankings are at with the division, it's like, all right, if you want to stay active, this is kind of where you got to go. So that's why they make the rematch. But who do you think takes it?
Yeah, I think it all depends on what Anthony Smith looks like coming into this fight. Because, he, like you said, he has a wealth of experience. He's beat some good fighters. It's not like he's a bad fighter or ever has been, but, his last 2 losses, the one to Johnny Walker, not long ago, I think you said 2 to 3 months ago, he got beat up for 3 rounds. He took a lot of leg kicks. He was damaged up. And then before that, same story with Magomed Ankalaev. The only difference is Ankalaev ended the fight in the 2nd round, so he didn't have to endure that punishment for 3 rounds, only 2 there. And, at his age, I don't like it. I don't like it against a guy like Spann, who is dangerous, even though, his fight IQ might not be the best. He does get hit, and he has been finished quite a few times in his career. But at the same time, he is super dangerous. He's super powerful. He can choke you out. He can knock you out. And overall, man, I just see Anthony Smith on the decline. And the last 2 fights, it seemed like it's been evident of it. If he loses here, I don't think we see Anthony Smith fight again. He has a lot going on outside the octagon. He's got a lot of shows he does. He's on, works for the UFC and the broadcasting, which he does good at. So, I mean, that's obviously his next step in his career. And, when you're 1 foot in, 1 foot out against dangerous guys like Spann, it doesn't always work out all the time. I mean, Spann has a negative strike differential, but I don't think Anthony Smith is going to come out and just put it on him for 3 rounds. Like if Anthony Smith wins this fight, I think he's got to find the chin early, or he's got to get to the back on the ground and find that submission early, because as fights goes on, as Anthony Smith starts taking and accumulating damage, that game just kind of declines during the fight, and you can see it. And it's been visible his last 2. So I'm going to take Ryan Spann here. Betting wise, it's kind of dicey just because this is the type of fight you just don't know. Like I said, there's a lot of factors with the age, Ryan Spann's IQ. But betting wise, I'm definitely going to look at the under, see what it comes out. I'm guessing it's going to be 1.5 rounds due to the fact that both of these guys have some finish losses on their record. Especially Spann, man. You look at it, sub loss to Krylov, knocked out Dominic Reyes, what they're calling on here, a power jab is what it's listed at. Submits Jan Kudatalaba, and then loses to Anthony Smith, which, that's the one interesting thing people are going to look at. But at the end of the day, Anthony Smith in 2020 and 2023, even though it's only a 3-year difference, is almost night and day in my opinion. So I'm going to stick with Ryan Spann.
Yeah, it's pretty rare that you see a guy that won the first fight and then in the rematch, he's the underdog. So, I mean, I think that speaks to like what has happened since then. And it's just basically 2 poor performances from Anthony Smith. Like, yeah, he got his leg broken against Hank Alive and could have had his leg broken against Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker fought him very smart. He just stayed at range, used his length, and kicked the legs. And Anthony Smith was very vocal about like, this has been a glaring hole in his game his entire career. Is like he can't check leg kicks. He just doesn't deal with leg kicks very well. And it's super weird to see him come back this quick, because the way he acted after that fight was like, people were telling him to retire, and you could tell he was like kind of feeling that and being like, maybe I should retire, like I need to do something. I don't want to retire, but maybe I'm at that point in my career where I should consider it. And then he's coming back like 3 months later. Did he fix the leg kick problem? Like, that's my question. I don't think that just happens to be fixed within 3 months. Like, what's the game plan going into this? I mean, do I really trust Ryan Spann to come out there and have some beautiful game plan to beat him? Absolutely not, because he's just a throw everything at you, try to get you out of there in the first round type of fighter. So that's where it's tough to take him at chalk. I do believe he should be the favorite, but it's just not a guy that you really want to bet as a favorite, because he just fights so wild. And Anthony Smith does have the finishing ability as well. And you look at how he beat him the first time, got him to the ground and rear naked choked him. So he has great BJJ. If he does get it to the ground, I think he has the ability to get another win. But I'm going to go with Ryan Spann because it's tough to get behind an Anthony Smith at this point in his career.